Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing, by popular demand, the new Baltany S202049. I received this watch for free. I don't have to send the watch back, but you guys know the deal by now. That's not going to sway my review one way or another. You're going to get my honest review on this channel every single time. And if by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up, I'll be leaving an affiliate link down in the video description. You guys use that link, you're not paying any extra. This channel will just benefit a little bit from the small commission earned, and that'll allow me to keep the channel going. So I really do appreciate anyone and everyone who has ever used one of my links. It really does help keep the channel going. I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys, so thank you so much. The current retail price for this watch is about $150 US. That's before any taxes, VAT, or coupons, or discounts, or anything like that. Currently in the back to school sale, I'm seeing it for right around $135, and that's before any coins. That's also before any other codes that you guys might have. So yeah, pretty good price on this one currently. The watch comes in two different colorways that you can see here, and it does have an option for a couple different straps, so just keep that in mind. This watch comes with a 316L stainless steel case, sapphire crystal, screw down crown, screw down case back, 100 meters of claimed water resistance, BGW9 Lume, and the watch is powered by the Seiko NH35 automatic movement. So this one is getting reviewed because you guys asked for it more than any other watch that I have needing a review. I put up a post yesterday, so if you guys aren't subscribed, I don't think you'll see that post. So yeah, subscribe if you're not already. But yeah, I'm heading out on a 10-day fishing trip, and this is one of the watches that needs to be reviewed. So I figured I would try and squeeze it out right beforehand. So if I'm rushing through this, that's why I got a lot of stuff to do before I head out. But yeah, I say we get right into this full review. But before we do, doing a quick wrist check today, wearing the Roland F023, I believe it was. Yeah, I said it in this review, and I have kept on wearing this watch. It is, man, I don't think the movement has stopped running since I've gotten it, and that's right around 4 weeks ago. That's almost a record for any watch. So if you haven't watched this review, go check out the review for it up here. I absolutely love this thing. It's a great watch. All right, so let's get to the dimensions. A diameter of 39 millimeters, case thickness of 12.2 millimeters, 20 millimeter lug width, lug tip to lug tip of 46.7 millimeters, and on the supplied leather strap, it weighs around 77 grams. So I've actually had this watch case before, and I liked it then. I like it now. Nice turn down to those lugs there. A great size at 39 millimeters and 46 millimeters. That kind of keeps it, I'd say, a universal size for a field watch for people. So yeah, I really like the way that this thing wears. I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. All right, and here we are on my 7.5-inch wrist, and as you can tell, it just wears great on me. I love this size, this 39 millimeter field watch. They're just like the sweet spot for me. So very happy with these watches. Nice curve down to the lugs there. You can see it hugs the wrist really nicely. Baltany always does a pretty good job in that regard when it comes to the watches. Yeah, I think it looks really good, even under this oak tree, which is always a problem for watches. It's still very legible, and I have really no complaints with it. Shown on this strap here, this is not the original strap, obviously. This is just one that you can get. It's a vintage leather one, which will be linked down below. I think it looks pretty good, but I'm going to go throw it on some other straps, and we'll get back to this review. And here we are out in some direct sunlight with a black Tropic strap. You can see still, I mean, wears really, really good. Looks great on this black strap. But there you can see really good there's kind of like a copper tone to the dial. It's really interesting. This also shows off the texture of the dial nicely. So you kind of have two sectors of the dial there. Yeah, it looks really good. I like it a lot, and I think it kind of just makes it a little bit more interesting than just a plain black dial. So yeah, pretty cool. And here we are on a elastic strap, and one layer underneath the watch there, and it's still sitting very nicely on the wrist. Very happy with the way this thing wears on these types of straps. And there again, you can see that kind of brownish tinge to the dial. It looks really good on this strap, in my opinion. And lastly, here we are on a nylon strap. This is one that came off of a Seagull watch that I got. But I really like it. That red stripe matches that red part of the seconds hand there. But yeah, it's really, really a nice looking strap. 2 layers underneath the watch there. And it's, again, still sitting very nicely on wrist. And I got no complaints with that. I think it looks actually really nice like that. All right, let's go back inside and let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about the case finishing on this thing. And case finishing is done very nicely. It's very simple. It is fully brushed. There's not a polished surface that I was able to find on this. So you have a circular brushing on the bezel itself, as you can see right there. Nicely done, nice and concentric. Got a horizontal brushing on the case sides, vertical brushing on the tops of the lugs, and again, just nice and consistent, what you would expect from Baltany. They do a really good job finishing their cases, even between the lugs here. Looks to be done pretty nicely. You know, some companies will skimp out there. Not Baltany, you got a nice vertical brushing there. Flipping it over to the crown side here, you can see a sterile crown. It's a nice, big, and grippy crown, which I really like. But Baltany refuses to use their logo on this thing. They have a cool logo. I think it would look great on that crown. I'm going to call it out every time I get a Baltany watch. Hopefully, they'll get annoyed and just throw it on there. Other than that, though, very happy with the case finishing on this thing. It is done really, really nicely. I've got no complaints with it at all. You've got a nice sterile case back. Again, maybe throw the Baltany logo back there. It doesn't bother me on the case back, but I'd like it on the crown. Simple notches to get your tool in there. Circular brushing on the bottom of the lugs there. This edge here, it stays off the wrist. It is maybe just a touch sharp, but you never notice it. Thankfully, these ends here on the strap, these are actually pretty nicely rounded off, so you don't have anything sharp digging into the wrist or anything like that. And I mean, just look at that case profile. Really, really happy with that. Nice turn down to those lugs. It's a beautiful case. All right, let's talk about the crystal on this thing. We'll test it for sapphire real quick. And it is positive for sapphire. And again, from Baltany, they have a excellent crystal. Lots of clear anti-reflective coating. It's just a good crystal. This one is a double dome sapphire, as you can see there. A little chamfer on the edge there. Very simple, very subtle dome, but yeah, really, really happy with this one. They always nail their crystals. I haven't had a bad crystal from Baltany. This one's a good one. I've got no complaints with it. All right, so let's talk about the dial on this thing. So dial is actually pretty interesting. It is a blackish, brownish dial. Hopefully you guys saw in the macros and the outside shots that kind of brown hue to it that you get every once in a while. It's very bright lighting. It's not really showing up here, but it's a really nice dial. It is matte, so it's not a glossy dial. And then you have some sectors in here. They are all sunburst. You have a circular brushing kind of around the outside sector. I'm hoping you guys can see it there. You can see it pretty good. But yeah, and then the inner part is just kind of a matte colorway. And it's just really nicely done. Very, very subtle though. But it does add some interest to what could be a pretty bland dial. There's a lot going on here. This is a typical field watch style. So you have your minute markings at all the 5-minute markings there. Those little dots there, those are loomed. Yeah, I don't know why they loomed them, but they are loomed. You have sub-second markings all the way around as well. Really a cool looking dial. You have big Arabic numerals all the way around the dial except for the 3 o'clock position there. Those big numbers, those are loomed. The smaller numbers there for the 24 hours, those are not loomed. At the 3 o'clock, you do have just a simple date window cutout with a black dial for the date. So color matched date wheel looks really good. It does get a little bit busy here when you got, you know, 2-digit numbers, but yeah, I'm still happy that they color match that. It kind of blends in really nicely, and I don't think it looks bad at all. So yeah, very happy with that. I'm just glad they didn't use a white one. That would have ruined it. Simple Baltany branding at the 12 o'clock, automatic underneath the pinion. It looks really, really good, and it's very clean, very nicely printed as well. Let's see if I can show you guys here. It's not raised up or anything like that, so it's just a flat printing. But again, nicely done. The handset they used on this, really love these hands. They're kind of sword, but kind of syringe at the same time. Really nicely done. Reaching right out to the minute track there, nice and bold on the hour hand. Red tip to that second hand, and that really cool counterbalance there. Yeah, I've got no complaints with the handset on this thing. I really, really like it. The lume on this watch is actually pretty good as well. It is BGW9, so you have a nice white lume color during the day, perfect color match. And then at night, I'm going to pop up a lume shot right here. Yeah, at night you got that nice ice blue glow. You can see it against a couple other watches in the collection, and it holds its own. You know, it's not going to be as good as, say, a dive watch or anything like that, but it's definitely serviceable. I was able to wake up at 4 in the morning with my eyes adjusted to the dark. I could read the time fine. So yeah, no issues with the lume on this thing. They did a pretty good job. All right, so let's talk about the movement and the crown. So the movement is the Seiko NH35 automatic movement. Here's how this one is running. It's about plus 12 seconds a day, and it has a pretty good beat error as well. So pretty happy with the movement. I'd like it to be a little bit slower, but this is usable for me. Yeah, the movement in general, they are reliable. They're accurate enough. They're cheap to replace, easy to service. This one has a nice custom date wheel, which I really do like. And yeah, I mean, what else do you need to say about the NH35? How about 6 ticks of the second hand every second and about 40 hours of power reserve? So yeah, it's a very nice movement, hacks and hand winds as well. Screw in and screw out action is just really nice and smooth on this one. Nice satisfying pop out as well. First position is your hand winding. Nice solid crown action on this. Pull it out to the first position, and this is where you change your date. Show you what the single digits look like. Really nicely centered date wheel. Pulling it out to the second position, hacks the movement. This is where you set your time. Everything functions as it should. Nothing jumps around or anything like that. Good solid engagement when pressing back in, and nice smooth screw down action on the crown. I'm very happy with the movement, very happy with the crown. I do still wish they would sign it, but other than that, I've got really no complaints. All right, so let's talk about the strap on this thing. So I've said it on most of the Baltany reviews that have a leather strap like this. I'm pretty sure they're all identical straps. It's a 20 millimeter strap. It tapers down to 18 millimeters. I'm kind of right in the middle here, as you can see. So it's a good length. It probably fits down to a 6.5 and then up to a probably 8-inch wrist. So yeah, it's a good length. It's soft enough. It's flexible enough. I think the black one actually breaks in a little bit better and easier than the tan ones do. Simple stitching here. No quick release, which I'd like to see. Genuine leather. It's branded on this side over here, Baltany. You have one floating keeper, one stationary keeper, and then you've got a buckle here. I wish they would use a brushed buckle instead of a bead blasted, but it doesn't look too bad, and this one is typically going to live on some other straps. But I will say the strap is serviceable. It's not one you're going to want to throw in the trash like some Chinese watches. This one is actually pretty decent, so it's worth keeping around in my opinion, but you're probably going to want to swap it out. So there you go, guys. That is the new Baltany S202049. I'm going to call it the khaki because it kind of looks like another watch. But yeah, it is a really nice field watch. BGW9 Lume, an excellent crystal as always from Baltany. Really love those hands on it as well. The case is excellent. Really happy with the brushing on this thing and the case shape. There's not a whole lot that I can complain about on this watch. Yeah, I guess just lack of branding on the crown. I really want to see that Baltany branding there. Other than that, it's a really solid offering. I've had similar watches from Tandorio and Bleeger and stuff like that. Those cases are not as nice as this. The crystals aren't as nice, and the Lume is not as nice. Yes, they're about half the price, but you know, when you step up into this a little bit more expensive of a watch, you're going to get nicer things. So really nice handset. I haven't seen this handset on any other one. The Baltanys and Tandorios, they just use recycled hands. Same thing with the date wheel, color match date wheel. The case is, again, not recycled. You're not going to see this case on any other watch probably. Yeah, and I definitely think it steps up the finishing, steps up the crystal, the Lume. It just steps up everything. So people that say this is a little bit too expensive, they really need to experience it in hand, or you know, hopefully this review kind of swayed them one way or another. It's a really nice watch. I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Wish me luck. Got to catch a bunch of fish, but I will see you guys in about a week.